Good morning, everyone. It is day 48. I'm kind of losing track. I think it's day 48 of going all in on day trading until I'm profitable. And today it is Friday, so it's the end of the week. Let's not do anything fucked up so I don't have to live with it over the weekend. I'm really just not happy with yesterday's trading. It could have been a win, should have been a win. I just turned into a Down syndrome. That's why I didn't win yesterday's trade. Nah, I'm making jokes of it, but I genuinely, I don't know how many people can relate to this, but I don't get, because I'm not going to call it depressed. No, I will, because there's a difference between having depression and just feeling depressed for, a couple hours, right? Yeah, okay, I'll use the word depressed. I don't know how many people relate, but when you take a loss that's so bad, you genuinely just feel like there's not even motivation. It's just pure just a depressed feeling for the next the rest of the day. But luckily for me, I have above average willpower, and I was able to do about 3 hours of why does this light keep turning on and off? I was able to do about 3 hours of back testing straight after that. So, yeah, I mean, just trying to be better, never making mistakes again. The whole reason I backtest really is just to simulate, practice for what would I do in what situation. So, I bought FX Replay. I might do, email cycles and just, recycle my email every 5 days. I might just pay for it for the month instead of being a fucking peasant. But that shit's definitely pretty goated, to be fair. Makes backtesting a lot more efficient and a lot more useful. So I would definitely recommend. I'm not sponsored. Yeah, obviously I'm not sponsored. No one's sponsoring me. I don't have an affiliate. Probably get FX Replay Premium. Because some of you motherfuckers I know people do this. They market closes and they go, oh, I'm going to backtest on fucking TradingView. Why are you backtesting on TradingView? And then they'll be sat there PM session, taking trades PM session, and after PM session, bro, why are you sat on TradingView analyzing the last, week of data? Saying, yeah, this happened and I should have done this. Fucking useless. Absolutely fucking useless. You can probably memorize every trade you took. For me, I know I could. If I see a setup from Monday, I'm gonna recognize, oh yeah, I did this, but I should have done this, right? It's not that long ago. Stop backtesting this week of data. Go back. Sure, review your own trades, but don't go back to this week and go, yeah, I would have taken this and I would have taken this. No, you fucking wouldn't, because you didn't take that shit, man. Kind of a tangent, but yeah, how many people do relate to that, having because I don't feel depressed as fuck after I take a loss, but when it's a loss, and if you haven't seen the trade I took, go to yesterday's video, but when I take a loss that bad, I literally, I can't even make it, I can't even hype myself up, because there was stuff I did wrong, the trade I took, it was actually a really nice trade. Stop loss was good, TP was good. It was just the management within the trade was fucking terrible. Yeah. So there are positives, but in the moment it's hard to be there's a positive and here's a positive, because it's no. Sure, there's positives, but did you make a profit or did you make a loss? Simple as. Doesn't matter if you know this and you know that. Everyone's a fucking expert. And this is something I have to understand. Everyone's an expert, including me, until it comes to the real market. And now I'm at a point where it doesn't matter if there's this positive and this positive. It's now binary. Did you take a win or did you take a loss? Yeah? You took a loss. So you're still doing something wrong. So you're still a shit trader. So that's at least how it feels in the moment. But looking back from less of an emotional standpoint and more of an objective standpoint from yesterday, yeah, I'm doing loads of things right. It's just tiny little tweaks that need to be made, which it is just annoying that they're not being made quicker than I would like them to be made. But yeah, I mean, there's not really much more I want to say. I'm going to finish up the bike, do some stretching. I've already been into school. I'm going to go back into school for one more lesson. And then I'm not going to do a YouTube live. I'll probably just do a go live in the Discord chat. Because that was way more fun than doing YouTube live. Because the thing is with YouTube live, like, so I can't be bothered listening to some people who are just like low-key haters. And some of them aren't even haters. They're just like low-key trolls. Like, they're just trolling, trying to piss me off. And it's just not like the environment I want to trade in. Whereas people who join the Discord, which, by the way, if you haven't joined the Discord, join the Discord. There's calls that are on every day after market, New York AM. If you have any questions, we've got profitable traders. Someone in the Discord just got a 4K payout. So there's people you can talk to if you want any advice in there. But the thing is with the Discord, which is cool, is people who join the Discord, if you're joining my Discord and you're going to troll, I'm going to fucking boot you out. But the thing is, there's not many people who join and, like, want to troll and, like, say rude shit anyway. So it makes it a lot more fun trading in the Discord. So I'll probably just do that again. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, finish up this bike, and then I'll do some stretching. So one thing I haven't really spoken about in a while is, yo, that fly from yesterday is dead. Yo, no way they got, bro. Wait, is he dead? Is he dead? Yo, I might kill him right now, bro. This guy was pissing me the fuck off yesterday. Yo, the dog or the cat must have got, bro. Yo, that's probably the motherfucker who was flying around yesterday as well, bro. Yo, they got him. Yo, let's fucking go, man. Okay, one thing that I haven't spoken about in a while is, what are my common flaws with the trading at the moment? Because typically, you know, historically, there's been like a common thing that's been making me lose. And I'm trying to think at the moment, what is making me lose? And I think the main thing is risk management. The main thing that is making me not have a payout right now, and it's not like I'm blowing accounts, like I'm pretty steady, like break even, like I'll go into a bit of profit, I'll go into a bit of drawdown, like right now, bit of profit, bit of drawdown. The main thing that's making me not get the payout, even though I've got 5 out of 5 winning days, is probably risk management. Probably risk management. Which is such an easy thing to fix. But that's a consistent thing that's like, fuck, bro. The trades, unfortunately, the trades I risk more on, I lose, and the trades I risk less on, I win. Which is just luck of the draw, you know? So what can I do? Just risk the same amount every time, which is what I've been doing the last week. But then this week, now I've got my risk sorted out, I've been taking some dog shit trades, bro. Like maybe one of the losses this week might have been a little bit valid. Like I think it was Tuesday's loss. Okay, maybe I could call that valid. But ultimately, like yesterday, it was moving my stop loss when I shouldn't move my stop loss. Monday's trade wasn't horrible. It wasn't geeked, but it wasn't a trade I was proud of. And that was just because I was coming home, walking home, type shit. And then Tuesday's trade, again, the problem was the stop loss. So I guess ultimately the issue is stop putting the stop loss in retard positions and risk properly. But this week it's really just been putting stop losses in the right position. Like Tuesday, it was a good trade on Tuesday, but my stop loss super tight, so tight, my stop loss. It's like, what are we even doing, bro? What are we doing with this stop loss? Like, put it in a fucking position. Like, the thing I have to realize is I'm basing my stop loss off of like an hourly move or even like a 4-hour bias or a 1-hour sweep. So why is my fucking stop loss taking into account only the 1 minute? You know what I mean? So that's a big thing for me. It's just putting the stop loss in the right place, which the more backtesting I do, the more familiar I'll get with each way the market can present itself on the 1 minute and the 5 minute, and the more used to it I'll be from backtesting, and not only backtesting, but mainly just being in the live market. I'll be more used to, you know, putting my stop loss in the right place. Because as a whole, I'm not trying to be cocky. I'm saying this factually. The trade ideas I have are amazing. They are really fucking good. Most of them, not all of them. 80% are really good trade ideas. Maybe, dare I say, close to 90% of my trade ideas are really fucking good. But my win rate goes to 50% because I don't put my stop loss in the right place and I make less than I should because my risk management's off. So risk the same, stop loss. I know where my stop loss should be going, not too tight, not too wide. On like 1 minute lows or at the bottom of like a 5 minute fair value gap, whatever. And fucking yeah, there's not really much I need to improve. It's just honing in on that shit. And hopefully nothing else pops up and I don't fuck up on anything else. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna make food, go into school, record some shit in school. And then, luckily today, we'll be back home to trade. So yeah. Alright, so here's a quick segment of me in school. So today I only had 2 lessons. It's such a good Friday is this Friday. So a little bit of maths in the morning, psychology now in the afternoon, and then there's nothing after this. So I'm not really looking at the charts, to be fair. A lot of the time I just have the screen on dark. But what I was seeing was obvious fucking longs today. I mean, the market was moving up so much, and by this point, NFP hadn't happened. It was going to happen in about half an hour. But I don't believe I include the NFP happening in this time lapse. But, yeah, because I think I was literally walking home at that point. But, to be honest, after I saw NFP that move that much, it might have been a better idea to have hopped off the charts at this point. I don't know, but as you can see, I'm not really moving my mouse around because I do have to be locking in on lessons at some point, so can't be looking at charts the whole time. But I just thought, hey, we'll just add a little school clip to this video. Also, if you're not already subscribed, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Thanks, guys. Alright, so pre-market analysis. I'm here with the Discord, and I'm going to be live trading on the Discord. So if you want to watch me live trade in the future, join the Discord, link in description. But here is what I'm seeing today. So it's 14:23, 23 past 2. So 7 minutes till market open. So we're going to see, I mean, right now, daily, super bullish on NQ, taking out these highs, but I feel like, yeah, just my feeling, I could see a push into this gap here on the daily. Run to this high is probably the next target, which looks pretty achievable. Obviously, we've swept this, so we'll have to see how we react off this in the next 36 minutes. But for sure, I mean, this could get rebalanced, or we could get a reaction. However, this is a huge fucking imbalance, but I'd like to see how we react with these 15-minute gaps. Like, if we get a 15-minute inversion, my bias may change to bearish, potentially. But right now, I'm pretty bullish. However, that could obviously change depending on, what the market presents. Looking at ES, kind of the same deal, except these targets on the left, way further back. Well, actually, this target, it's way, we're kind of lagging on ES. So, Yeah, I mean, basically right now I'm bullish, but it could all change. It could definitely all change, depending on how we react off certain shit I've got marked out. Yeah. Here's a time lapse of the stream I did. So I was streaming in the Discord. To be fair, I think I'm gonna keep streaming on YouTube, but streaming in the Discord was pretty fun. So basically now I'm trading. Unfortunately, the back end of this clip actually froze. Like my OBS wasn't recording my screen, it was only recording my face cam. So when I actually take the trade, that part's cut out. But I will go over the full thing in the post-market analysis. And I will ultimately go over why this trade was an absolute shitter of a trade. Okay, I was going to talk more on that, but the whole post-market analysis is going over that. And as you can see, NFP had a huge move up, as you can literally see beforehand in this time lapse. NFP absolutely rallied, and look, I don't mind trading after news, but if news is going to rally that much, I do have to take into account, look, I'm willing to trade news, but it's situational. If news is going to make a move like that, then maybe I shouldn't be trading news. Maybe I shouldn't be trading news. And by maybe, I mean I shouldn't be trading at that point. So it's just a factor of telling myself, look, you've got to just accept some days aren't trading days, you know? Although I wish every day was a trading day, they're not. Okay, so post-market analysis, obviously it was not a good trade. Well, actually you guys didn't see because the time-lapse paused. But yeah, let's just get into it because you guys, I guess, haven't even seen the trade I took. Alright, so here we are on the charts. Charts are shut right now, but we will fucking get into it. So, basically, if we can actually go on the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, my bias was bullish. Where's the 6 a.m. candle? 6 a.m. candle here. Let's just put a marker through it. So that's where I was trading. My bias was bullish. Even when we took out this high, I mean, the best longs were at that high, but I was still willing to, look for longs up until this high here, which I've highlighted really bad, but you get the idea of where it is. I was willing to go long up until that high just because of how bullish we were. Dropping onto the 1 hour, basically, if we put our marker to 9 o'clock, I was still super bullish. I didn't really care that that high got taken out, although it would have been ideal to have taken the longs to that high instead of something else. But the trade I actually took, we had this 15-minute gap retraced into. We did also have this 15-minute gap retraced into, but I was more just bothered about, the first one that got retraced into, because I quite like that gap. And on the 5-minute, I waited for displacement upwards, so we took out this high, and then we kind of just fucked around. We did take out this high pre-market, though, so I wasn't too annoyed. I ended up missing that. The next best longs were into these like lower time frame highs, which I could have taken just off of this 15-minute imbalance, and which is the box that's highlighted, and then I was planning on taking this, so I was planning on taking an inversion here. We didn't quite inverse, and we also, I'm not going to show you ES just because I can't be bothered, but we had an SMT, no, this was the SMT, which ended up failing. So then I was like, alright, I really like that SMT, but the SMT failed, so I wanted to wait for another setup. Ideally, I would have looked at this inversion and gone, okay, I'm entering off this inversion, the 50-minute hasn't closed, we're still respecting the gap, but I didn't, so look, taking something like this would have been perfect. Like, to these highs here, yeah, nah, or even these highs here, this would have been golden here. But I didn't. I wish I did, but I didn't. I genuinely considered taking. Let me show you guys. I genuinely considered. What did I genuinely consider? Oh yeah, when we were displacing up here, I really considered taking this right here. If we just go to this, because this isn't important anymore. I considered taking this like 1-to-1. With a bit of an extended TP. Here, I didn't, unfortunately. What I ended up entering off of was this 5-minute displacement up, as you can see. I'll just get rid of the 15-minute gap because that's not important anymore. We had this 5-minute gap tapped into, and on the 1 minute, I did get a bit of a late entry, but where did I enter? Fuck. You know what? I'll turn on the motherfucking executions just to prove it, because there's obviously no proof. Wait, where the fuck are the executions? They're not showing. I think I have the thing toggled on, which stops them from showing. Okay, I don't know what... Oh, it's because I'm not logged into my account, whatever. You guys will just have to... Well, why would I... I'm not going to lie about this. It was the fucking worst loss I've ever taken. Stops were meant to be down here on any of these lows. Ideally, they were meant to be on that low there. That's where stops were meant to be targeting these highs here for the 1-to-1. Obviously, you know, even with this entry, it was still like, you know, you've got the fair value gap fucking... Look, I was still very late to enter. Matter of fact, no, the entry was here. Yeah, the entry was really bad, to be honest. Where should it have been? Now, I don't know what I was thinking. The entry should have been here. With fucking stops down here, yeah? But the entry ended up being here. So stops were going to have to get placed fucking here. Or, sorry, here, which was not an ideal stop loss, but... Here's the annoying part. Instead of exiting there, I had to exit here. And the reason being, and I can say this with like not like a depressed tone now, because it's Sunday. I've had a bit of time to, you know, think about what happened, think about the positives, after really my mind just focusing in on the negatives. Instead of entering with 2 micros, I entered with 2 minis. And that was the death of this trade. Because although the trade, it wasn't that good anyway, it was a super late entry. The fact of the matter is, price shot down and just obliterated my stop loss. And this is really embarrassing to say, especially because I had like 15 people watching this happen live in the Discord. It was just... And I was having a conversation with my friend, and I was saying, it literally... When you try explain it out loud, how you can accidentally enter with 2 minis instead of 2 micros, not only does it sound retarded, and it is retarded, it also doesn't even make sense how that can even happen. Like, how could I even enter with 2 minis instead of 2 micros? It doesn't make sense. I agree, it doesn't make sense, but it happened. And one thing which I'll genuinely own up to being a psychological issue is when I'm in this trade and I realize, oh fuck, I'm in with 2 minis, there's still a part of my brain which is like, but what if it wins? But what if it moves up the slightest bits? Now, that could have happened if I had the proper entry. If I had entered here with 2 minis with my stop loss here, and it had literally moved up there, I would have been in crazy profit, but it didn't, and it just shit the bed. And it didn't even shit the bed at that point. It moved on the slightest bit, minus 600 drawdown. So now the account is at minus 1200 drawdown, which is obviously not fucking good. 5 out of 5 winning days, but we're in crippling drawdown. But what I was thinking is, you know, most people at this point they just full port this bitch, and they wouldn't give a shit, they'd full port it. But you know what I'm going to do? Going into next week, I'm going to trade it slowly, I'm going to trade it properly, And I'm not going to just blow this out because I'm going to be honest, I'm broke as fuck. I can't afford to be blowing fundeds left, right, and centre. So the plan is literally try and redeem this account. Because let's say I buy an eval, right? And let's say I absolutely speedrun the fuck out of this eval, right? Pass the eval, free trades, boom, right? I'm still going to need 8 more winning days to get a payout. I already have the 5 winning days and a past account on this account. It's only going to take, I say only, it's going to take about 4 winning trades to get this account back. Except it's not going to cost me any more money. So I might as well just go like 100 risk and just work my way up slowly at this point. Because, to be honest, it's going to be cheaper because there's 0 expense to doing this. And it's going to take the same amount of time as just buying another eval would and passing the eval and getting 5 winning days. So the emotional part of me, I swear to God, and I should have recorded this because it's an important part to record, bro. My cat is just, there's hair everywhere. I should have recorded it because although I'm speaking about this brightly now, I promise you, I'm not all happy that this has happened. I was genuinely like I think like I said at the start of this video, like, not that I have fucking depression, but I genuinely felt depressed for the rest of that day and the rest of Saturday morning, and all I could do was fucking backtest for that amount of time. It was not a good feeling. But now I'm able to look at it a bit more objectively, and off rip, I wanted to just buy another account. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to buy 2 more accounts, but that shit is not the meta. I'm going to stay with this funded because if I can get this out of drawdown, I've kind of accepted, look, it's probably going to get blown, but if I can get this account out of drawdown, that is going to be revolutionary for my mindset if I'm able to do this. So that's the plan going forward. Kind of a bit of waffle, to be fair. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm sorry the actual trading froze. If you want to watch, you should be in the Discord. But first, please make sure you subscribe. We're trying to hit 2K subs. I'll see you guys on fucking Monday's video. So yeah.